Here is the big lie about flow. The lie is that you need the exact right external circumstances and you need the exact right internal mental state in order to be able to effortlessly drop into flow. So you need things like the exact right kind of task, which is just challenging enough, but not too difficult. You need the exact right amount of time, a nice 2 hour work block, and not just 20 minutes between calls. You need to have no distractions, put your phone away, close your door, keep your notifications muted. You also need the exact right amount of confidence, a calm certainty that you can tackle what's in front of you and do a great job. And you need the exact right amount of focus. Nothing can have frustrated you or distracted you earlier in the day. And if all those things are true, then you can effortlessly drop into flow. Now, it's true that you can effortlessly drop into flow when all the stars align in exactly that way. But I want to tell you that that's not the only time that you can access flow. You can also access flow when the task you have to do is hard or boring or seemingly pointless. You can access it when you have way too little time. You can access it when you're surrounded by distractions. You can access it when you're not sure that you can do a great job at what you're supposed to be doing. And you can access flow even when you're frustrated or uncertain or scattered or tired. You can still access flow in the face of all those external circumstances and in the face of all those internal mental states by asking yourself these 3 questions. Question number 1, who do I want to be? Question number 2, what is blocking me from being that person right now? And then question number 3, how does the person I want to be handle this blocker? Let me give you some examples of what that could look like. You might say, I want to be a senior leader with a big picture perspective on where the company needs to be going. But my blocker for doing that, the reason I can't be that person right now, is that I'm so immersed in the weeds of the work and I have no time to step back and do that big picture thinking. So I tell you, okay, ask yourself, how would a senior leader handle that problem? How would they create the time and step out of the weeds in order to still have a big picture perspective? You can literally imagine a senior leader that you admire as you do this. You can ask yourself, if Jane Smith, the head of our function, who I admire so much, literally had to take over my job for the day, if she inherited my inbox, my calendar, and my to-do list and my Slack messages, what would she do that I'm not doing? How would she bring her leadership and her vision to this role? And then you can go do that thing. Here's another example. If you want to be a sharp, bold thinker who has unexpected and valuable things to add to the conversation and isn't afraid to jump in and share their perspective, but your blocker to being that person right now is that you're worried that your idea might be wrong or that you might be missing something and just end up looking stupid when you jump in, the thing I tell you to do is to say, okay, how does a sharp, bold thinker handle the possibility that their idea might be wrong or that they might be missing something? That is a reasonable risk that sharp, bold thinkers face all the time. How do they handle it? Do they test their ideas with smaller groups first? Do they frame their idea as a question rather than a statement? Do they throw their idea out there boldly, but be totally willing to be gracious and laugh at themselves if they end up realizing they were wrong? How do the sharp, bold thinkers that you want to be mitigate that risk of being wrong without staying totally silent? You can even apply these 3 questions to your personal life. For example, if you say, I want to be a warm and gracious host to my extended family when they're in town, but I'm so tired, that's my blocker. I don't feel like I have the bandwidth to be on and entertain a bunch of people at the end of a long workday. I'd ask you, okay, how does a warm and gracious host handle being tired? It's a totally normal situation for warm and gracious hosts to find themselves in. What workarounds do they find? How do they make things easier on themselves? How do they maybe even use their true feelings of tiredness to connect with their guests rather than trying to hide how they're feeling and put on a fake smile? How do they still achieve their goal while accounting for their limited bandwidth? Feeling like you're succeeding at being the person that you want to be creates a sense of ease and flow and alignment. But your flow gets disrupted when you think the person I want to be doesn't face these problems, or they don't struggle so much to figure out these problems. But what if I told you that the person you want to be and the people that you most admire became that way because they spent more time facing these problems and struggling with them and figuring out the solutions? Which means that if you find yourself facing this blocker, perfect. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are exactly on the right track. This is the perfect opportunity for you to be the person you want to be and react like them to this situation. And when you do that again and again with these 3 questions, you feel again and again like you're succeeding at being who you want to be and at figuring out how to be that person. You're also expanding the set of circumstances in which you can access flow, and you're strengthening the mental muscle that lets you tap into flow on demand. The best way to deliver mind-bendingly high performance wherever you are without burning yourself out, having no life, or never seeing your family again is to be able to access a state of flow internally on demand, even in the face of challenging circumstances and prickly emotions. This is exactly what I help my clients learn how to do. If you want some one-off problem solving about how to access flow in your current situation, I want you to swing by for a coffee chat with me. No strings attached. It's not a sales call. It's just an opportunity for us to hang out, discuss whatever's on your mind, and I will be as helpful as I can possibly be. The link to book a coffee chat is above. And if you want to build this skill systematically so you have it in your arsenal for the rest of your life, I want you to book a consult call with me and let's map out what a full coaching engagement together could look like. Because at the end of the day, you're going to walk away after 4 to 6 months with your flow accessing mental muscle fully limbered up, worked out, and ready to use forever. The link to book a free consult call is also above. And if you're listening on Instagram, both of those links are in my bio.